Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here talking to Ana Latini and Thiago Santos. I'm Duda, co-founder of Octobox, and today we will talk about products. When listen becomes automated, and how does empathy meet automation? Ana, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. So, yeah, very happy to be here. Thanks for the invite. I'm Ana. I'm proudly Brazilian, but I've been living in Dublin, Ireland for the last 8, 9 years. And here I work for Google as a product support manager. And we can talk about this later in the talk. But what I do here is essentially is to bring the user feedback into life and to translate it into product decisions. So insights that make product decisions and make the products go forward and different launches, etc. So yeah, this is a little bit of what I do, and I'm super excited to talk a little bit more about this like AI revolution, with something that's very close to my heart. So yeah, thanks for the invite again.
Super nice. I'm super curious about your journey. Thiago, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. I'm Thiago. I'm the founder of Octobox. Before that, I have made a startup called Husky that was used by Brazilians receiving international payments. Now we are trying to democratize the way people at work can access data, because today still you have to have some knowledge, technical knowledge like SQL or integration with APIs or whatever to access this data. And we think AI can change that for good.
Super nice. Yeah, so I'd like to understand more about your journey, Anna. How you arrived in Ireland in Google. I know that you started your career here in Brazil and then suddenly you went to Google. So can you talk about your journey?
Sure. So my journey is quite diverse, and I think, well, people usually say that, oh, I'm gonna follow a path and I'll do something that makes sense in a matter of career progression. And this is not what happened to me, but this is how I ended up at Google. So I studied marketing and advertising as well as linguistics in Brazil. I was always in the creative side. I worked in agencies for more than 10 years. I directed an agency myself, which was like a very good and very rewarding experience. And then I felt that, one, I wanted to do something different in a different place. I wanted to challenge myself. And I'm like, okay, Ireland, here we are, here we go. So 8 years ago, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to like learn and progress my career in a different environment. So I continued working in agencies here, only to understand that they are all the same regardless of the country you are. The struggles can be the same. All the rewardings as well, but I wanted something different. So I went to the client side for the first time in the telco industry, and I wanted to bring my skills to the client side. So I'm like, okay, what do I do that is good? And from the advertising part and everything that I did in agencies in that time, which was like directing the agencies itself, I was like, okay, maybe project management is a good transferable skill for me to bring to another industry, to another world. So this is what I did. So I worked in project management in the client side for quite a while, and I applied to a project management role in Google. I did the interviews, I didn't pass, and I was following my life. And then a few months later, they were like, okay, we assessed you, you're not good for that position, but given your huge experience in agencies and in the advertising world, would you consider going back and working with advertising again for Google? And I'm like, yes, that's Google, I'm going. So I went to Google. I worked with Google Ads for 2 years. And then I'm like, okay, advertising, I'm good. I've been in various environments in advertising. Can I try to do something different again? So I tried something more similar to what I was doing before in terms of digital project management, etc. This led me finally to working in the product area as a product support manager, with something that I've been doing for 1.5 years at Google now. Which we can talk about this during the talk, but basically I introduced it a little bit. I get all the feedback about one of our products, and I translate these feedback into great actions for the product. So if I see any bugs, user talking about any bugs, anything that is not clear in the UI, not clear in the UX, I help them to say, look, hey product, users are having this kind of problem. Can we solve this for them? And we agree in yes or no for different reasons. But yeah, I basically try to make users happy. If I could summarize this.
It's a beautiful mission, and I'm pretty sure that you are dealing with loads of users, right? How can you deal with all these information? You use AI or not? How is your routine?
Oh yeah. So every product in Google has one, we call it PSM, which is Product Support Manager, which is this person that is the advocate for the user inside of the product, right? And we, depending on the product, it can be in the thousands of feedback. So it's huge. It's really huge. It would be humanly impossible to gather all the information myself by myself if I didn't have any AI to help me anything, right? So yeah, we use loads of tools, internal tools, external tools, to support these activities. So basically, the tool get different categorize the feedbacks in different areas. So I don't know, it's a problem, it's a feature suggestion, it's something that they didn't understand, something that they couldn't do. So depending on what kind of feedback they give, we act accordingly. So this is how it works, at least in my experience. And again, this is everything that I am saying here. It's based on my experience in how I do things, and all the opinions that I'm talking here. They are my opinions. It's not like my company's opinion, but this is how I've been working with AI recently in my work.
That's cool. And when we talk about Google, there are just lots of nice tools that you guys have. So which tools do you act? Like when you say you represent the users, for which kind of set of tools you're talking about?
You mean my product?
Yeah.
So it's called Google Accounts in my case, which people think it's Gmail, but it's not. When you create your Gmail, you have your identity inside Google, right? So, and with your Gmail, you have access to the plethora of different products that we have, from YouTube, music, workspace, whatever you want to create in Google. So my product, it's a product that is really more or less in the background, and it talks a little bit of all of them, which is exciting as well, I'd say, because I learn a lot about other products. So people are talking a lot about, I don't know, different products. Like this month, they are talking about maps. Next month, they are talking about something that they can't do in YouTube, for example, because they wouldn't. Something that I find very interesting is that if they give feedback, they are one user and they are talking to one company, Google. So it doesn't matter if your product is Maps or it's YouTube. They are going to find whatever way to give you the feedback that they want. So, and sometimes it comes to me for another product. So I kind of receive everything.
Amazing. And Anna, is there any task you do today that you cannot imagine doing without AI? Like there is something that you started using AI and it's possible today to do without AI, in your opinion?
Oh, well, I use it for absolutely everything, even when I'm not consciously using this. I am like for writing emails to categorize everything at work. So I'd say with the volume, we were talking about this. So with the volume of things that I receive every day, the people talking, um, about what they think and what they want about the product. I think the most challenging thing would be for me to do this manually. So AI helps me a lot and helps me to understand even what they don't say, because there's this as well. So you need to read the behind the scenes, like what they really want to say about this, because people have different languages, different ways to express themselves. So even there, AI helps me, which is incredible. Of course, there's my manual and my previous knowledge about even the product and for the about the human side as well. But AI can definitely support on this for sure.
Yeah. And I have other questions here about your day to day. And what is the process like for turning raw feedback into product decisions? I think that you already started explaining, but I'd like to understand more profound about this process.
So basically, there are different ways that we receive feedback, and it depends from product to product. It can come from them checking Help Center, from them going there and actively writing about their feedback. It can be a community post, or they can go to social and say something and not even tag you, you know? So the first thing is basically to condense all of this, to understand a little bit of, okay, where does it come from? Do we have a context about this, or do the product know that this is happening, yes or no, or in which extent the product know that it's happening? Because sometimes you're so immersed in your own product that you don't get, sometimes it's simple things like, I can't find this button. This is something common. I can't find this button, but it's clear for me that the button is there. But it's clear for me because I work for this product, not for my user, right? So it's a matter of one, understanding the context, categorizing everything, and telling the product, look, this is what I think would be amazing for the user right now. So these are things that we know, and maybe they are not a priority, but this is a huge priority. Can you act on this? And it's a matter of both me being the voice of the user, telling the product that this is important, and me fighting for the user as well, because there are different voices. Let's say the product listens to complete different voices. So how do I make sure that the user is being heard? So this is basically my day-to-day activities.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking because when I was working with this kind of job, I felt like no one was hearing me, and I had to fight because of the users. So the product team listen to you, or you have to negotiate. And how is this routine for you?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, right? If you can prove that it's something very important, and that it's gonna be a huge contribution to the user, yes, So, and this is in the core of what we do. Um, and again, I'm talking by my own experience here. So I try to always make sure that they are happy. So I do everything that I can, and the product, of course, as well. Um, so yeah, we don't have, of course, there are some balances that we need to do. Okay, maybe not for now, but maybe in 3 months or maybe in 6 months. But we always get in an agreement if the solution makes sense.
That's cool. Ana, can you give us some practical examples on how your team has been using AI, using Gemini at work, and if you have implemented some specific agent for your area, you or your team? I mean, can you give us some example of how that is being developed inside a company like Google?
Yeah, so it's a very exciting time for working for a company like Google that, well, is in the front of AI, and they develop Gemini and loads of things happening, and it's being very fast. So to keep the first challenge and the first task you're asking what we do is to keep up with the new features and to understand everything that we can do with Gemini, with AI in general, right? Um, Gemini is the first thing I open every day when I go to work. So from writing emails to help me to understand Excel sheets, like loads of data. So the data part is also something very important in this kind of job. So the fact that I can give them the data and say, please help me to understand this as if I was a 5-year-old kid helps me a lot. Because as I told you, I come from a creative background, not math. I'm not the math kind of person. So the help of Gemini to support me in these tasks is huge. So this is one thing. And then we have a lot of plethora of tools that help us to deliver better quality work, from writing to summarizing data to maybe create presentations. So from the beginning to the end of the process, even how do you communicate? So we use AI for that. So if I want to be more convincing, I can use a tool that helps me to refine my pitch, so the product team really gets my idea. So this is a pretty cool one that I use as well. So from the beginning to the end of the process, there are loads of AI tools involved, even if I don't realize that I'm using them, because they are already part of my daily life at this point.
Super nice. And I am thinking, if you are the voice of the user inside of Google, probably you are the voice of the user in the world, because most of us are using Google now, right?
Yeah.
So, what are user expecting when it comes to intelligence and automation in real and in general?
You mean what they ask for?
Yeah, which kind of AI they expect you to create or improve in product, for example, if you can share with
Yeah,
us
I'd
this
say
information.
that I see loads of people, and not only for Google, but I see in general people wanting to, one, to have their life facilitated, and two, I'd say loads of customization as well. So um, I should be able. We are like, people say, like, we are in the AI era. I should be able to change the color of this thing for the color I want, or I should be able to make a video out of it easily. Like these kind of things. Like personalization is something that I see a lot. Like I want to do this my way. I want it to be customized. It has my way of thinking and my face on it, and I want me to be able to do this easily. Come on, we are in the AI era. I know you can do this. So this is what I hear from the users in general. Like not only facilitate my life, make my life easier, but help me to customize the solutions the way I want. I'd say that these are the most impactful things
Cool.
that I hear.
And if you reflect on your day-to-day routine, what are the pain points that you have when you're doing your work that maybe some AI solution may fix that for you in the future?
That's a good question. I would say not even my work per se, but solutions like dealing with emails. It's very simple, right? I wanted to be able to not read 400 emails per day, but I want to have a summary of everything that people say. And if you could categorize them for me and tell me, okay, this is your priority, this is not so priority like that, and maybe this is just something that you can read at your own pace, it would help me a lot.
It would help me too. I
Yeah,
want that.
exactly. Well, idea of business, whoever is watching this. And I don't think it would be something very difficult. Oh, well, I'm not an engineer, but yeah, in my creative mind, I think it's not something very difficult to do. But I think this is by far one thing that sometimes I struggle. I mean, the end of the day, I'm trying to, as a mental health and wellness practice, not to check my emails all the time as they come. So I check my emails in the morning and in the end of the day. And they are just coming and coming. And it gives you loads of anxious feelings like, oh my God, I'm not keeping up with this. So maybe AI could help me in different fronts in this area.
For professionals who are listening to us now and don't use AI, which kind of advice you can give to them? Not, oh, just use AI, but no, uh, some AI they should start with, for example, which kind of tool?
Yeah, I think it comes from a place of not knowing exactly what it does for you. So I think this is the first thing, just to familiarize yourself with alternatives that are there, and maybe think of your problems, like what problems in your life you want to solve. Like I was just saying about emails, this is something that is hard for me. And maybe for you is something else. Like I want to be able to keep up with my training, my gym life, how AI can help me with this. Both giving me a program, and also if I use a machine that can support me throughout this journey, it would be nice. So this is how you can start to familiarize yourself with the topic, with things that are already problems or things you struggle with. So I'd say first thing, familiarize yourself, because there is no way back, I think, at this point. So either we understand how good and how important it is for our life, or we are going to be behind, especially as professionals, etc. Because we see like how it's advancing so fast. And so this is the first thing. And to experiment. So once you identify the problems, and even for your personal and professional life experience, try new tools. There are loads of companies that they give trials for you to check how it would help your product or your service to develop better and succeed. So try it out, try different things, see how it works for you. So I'd say these two things: familiarize yourself with the topic and try what works for you and see how it goes.
Yeah, when we talk about large companies like Google that are actually developing the AI we're using, in your view, are big companies actually ahead in applying AI, or are they struggling too? Because we see a lot of people that think, "Oh, AI is here. What should I do? Should I pick?" And that goes both for companies and for individuals working inside these companies. How do you compare a large company with a small, medium company?
I'd say we are all in the same boat in different stands and different formats, trying the best, even as a professional. I'm talking as a professional now, to advance in this world. Of course, there are size limitations and what you can do at some instant, but I'd say this is the major difference, because we are all in the same boat trying to in a different race, in a different pace, but we are all like, as professionals, and I imagine as companies, again, I'm talking about my own opinion, not exactly what Google would say, but I see that different ones, we are all in the same boat trying to advance in this space.
Do you think startups have an edge here, or?
I'd say yes, because because as small companies, you have more. Well, there are no loads of steps and loads of people involved, so I think the advancements can be um, better and can be faster. Because there are not as many people needing to approve stuff. Of course, you need to have your diligence in making sure that your solution is okay and it's ethical and sustainable. But so the struggle is the same, but things can work way, way faster in a startup, I'd say. So definitely an advantage in the AI race.
Interesting. So yeah, reaching out at the end of our conversation. So Anna, thank you very much. I am pretty sure that people who is listening and watching us have a lot of insight. And I'd like to give you a space to share your social media where people can find you.
Sure. Yeah, it was a pleasure. I love talking about this topic and explain a little bit more about what I've been doing in this space. So thank you for the invite again. You can find me on LinkedIn, Ana Latini, Latini, Ana Latini. Feel free to reach out, send a message with whatever opinion you have about this. I'm always up to chat, do the nose about this. I'm always like, okay, let's have a quick connect here about this topic. I'm a very curious person, so I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So feel free to connect.
Super nice. And Thiago?
I'm still also in LinkedIn. You can find me by searching for Thiago Octobox, and definitely you get me. Let's talk.
Super nice. And I'd like to invite all of you to follow Octobox on social media. We are having this kind of conversation with lots of good speakers, good professionals, and I'm pretty sure that you will find insightful all this conversation. Thanks so much and see you soon.